Hey, what's up, everybody? Sound check, sound check. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Happy nights. Happy day. Let's just see what we got going on here. I should be joined by my special guest, Nick Luck. And I want to talk about Loki Season 2, the MCU. I want to talk about things that are going on with the future, what's going on with Marvel, the alleged rumors, all that stuff. Now, if you can't hear me, by the way, let me know. I believe Nick Luck will be joining us, and I want to be able to tell if he can hear me or not. But I would also like to welcome everybody to share this live as we sit here for the next 45 minutes and we talk about exactly what we think with Loki Season 2, what we think is going on with the MCU, what we think is going on with the future. If you're out there, give me a thumbs up. Yay, nay, if you can hear me, and let me know. I believe I hear Nick Luck messing around, and I'll see if I can hear him. Nick, I can hear you. I can't see you.
Oh, see, unfortunately, I got pretty jacked up at the TVA, so I'm only a disembodied voice right now. But I was able to make it back.
I hate you. This is me. How do I sound, by the way?
You sound good.
I sound like shit, let's be real, but
Dang.
because I am sick. So we are here on a Saturday night, guys. We're going to talk for the next 45, 50 minutes. Nick, welcome. It's been so long since we've done anything together, man. Like, I feel like our schedules have been insane. Like, I barely even have been responding lately the last couple weeks. And that's pretty unlike me, honestly. I've
Like
just
singer.
I've been dead, dude. It's been rough. So, but we're here and we're excited. So, potential spoilers, if nobody's caught up on Loki Season 2 yet, with only one more episode to go, there's going to be some spoilers. But we're going to dive even further into what is going on with Loki, what we want to see with Loki, what we think is going to happen with Loki. Really, we're going to dive in further, as there's been a lot of MCU talk lately. What up, Brandon from Michigan? One of the hosts of the Notes and Goats podcast. Good to see you.
Oh, a variant.
Yeah, a variant. It is. It's my Michigan variant, dude. I love it. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. So, Nick, I don't know where to begin. There's so much to unravel. There's so much to unpack. Let's first and foremost say, can we agree that Loki Season 2 might be one of the best shows, if not the best series, that the MCU has put out?
Well, hey, I mean, it's the only one that has a season 2, right? I think.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at it. Okay.
That's proof right there.
I say that, right? For real. WandaVision was something unique and amazing that I think will always be up here.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was great. Falcon Winter Soldier, I need to go back and rewatch, but I enjoyed it much better than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Loki, obviously. She-Hulk, one of these, but I was entertained nonetheless.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
What If was really dope for me.
What If was dope. Now that's getting to Season 2.
Yeah. Zombies, well, we don't have zombies yet, but I'm very excited for that whenever
True.
it happens.
If it still happens.
I
I
hope.
mean, there is the big if. But
Yeah.
let's look at some of the other live action shows that we got. I'm forgetting them all. Moon Knight was phenomenal, but not a Season 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man.
So we've gotten some good things, but for some reason with Loki, and this is why when they talk about Marvel being in shambles and they talk about all these things, I'm like, really? Because they knew what they were doing with Loki. They knew it. They knew what they were doing with Wanda to get us to Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. They knew what they were doing with Hawkeye to really get us into Echo, to get us into Daredevil, to get us in. They knew it.
Yep.
They knew it. So we can't act like that plan hasn't paid off, because it has. But Loki
It's
season 2 is a different level, man.
yeah, it's crazy too because they're doing that same kind of structure, that same kind of build up where everything is still connected.
True.
Are there still things that aren't being answered still? Yeah, but that's kind of the thing that happens when you have so many stories, so many overarching stories. Sometimes things are going to be left to the wayside, unfortunately. But we still have a lot of great things that are still connecting, still being answered. Excuse me. And it's, I think they're still doing a good job at connecting a lot of that stuff still. And
I think that's been, and we'll get into this later on. I think that's been one of the MCU's greatest attributes is their universe building and their connection of this and that and the other thing. But I also think it's also one of their weaknesses. I think that the little things that they have, for example, Moon Knight was a complete separate entity. Yes, it was in the MCU. Yes, we got our little nerd out moments with a drop of Kang, just a smidgen that 80% of the people probably didn't even notice to begin with. And that's fine. That could have just been a little fun Easter egg, could never pay off, didn't matter. Moon Knight was its own entity, and to me, it proved that the MCU doesn't have to be connected. It can still be in the universe, but doesn't have to be like, okay, let me go back and watch 56 movies, 5 seasons of this, read this book, watch this documentary, watch this YouTube short to figure out what's going on. And I think that even though that's amazing, I think they don't need to continue to do that formula over and over. I think you can have a universe that is this big giant universe without having these little nits and that and holes to sit there and connect to the bigger story. Now, I think with the Kang dynasty, with the multiverse, with what's going on in Loki, absolutely it's needed. It's needed. But I think you could be doing other shows and movies that aren't connected to that. And I think that's where they struggle the most. They don't struggle on Loki, and I'm sorry, but Loki right now is carrying the MCU on its shoulders. And not saying that the MCU has been garbage because I don't buy that. Even some of the stuff that I haven't liked, Ant-Man and the Wasp was fun, Quantumania, but it was not the movie it should have been. We know that. It was better than Thor: Love and Thunder, but that doesn't really say a whole lot. Thor: Love and Thunder was really the more I sit on it, the more it's just not that good. It had good moments, but it wasn't that good. But we have managed to sit there and take Loki and put him in so many different scenarios that now we're pulling for him as the hero. And I think they've done an amazing job, especially in this last episode, spoilers ahead, when he finally realized I can rewrite all this.
yes.
That's amazing to me. And I don't know what it means for the future. I don't know what it means for the final episode. But it's taken Loki to that Avenger level.
Talk about that power upgrade. Like we thought that old Loki was powerful. Like, oh man, he must be like the most powerful Loki we've seen yet. And then Loki gets this, then we see this Loki get this time travel power. Like, oh, now this guy is like you said, now he is Avenger level. It's really great to see too. And in that moment where we just see everyone just turning into spaghetti.
That was crazy, by the
Yeah, I
way.
started thinking, I was just like for a split second, I forgot that Loki could, I forgot about the whole foreshadowing of him trying to learn how to time
The
slip.
time slip, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that for a second. I was like, holy crap, what's gonna happen now? And when it finally happens, I thought, oh, okay, good stuff. It was just, it's really cool, and I'm really excited. It's really great to see how this is gonna happen, and it's really great to see that they're able to developed this character, how they were able to show Loki grow so attached to these people of the TVA
Yeah.
and show that he feels alone without them, that he really cares for them. But despite that, he is still willing to give them the choice of if they want these lives outside the TVA or if they actually want the TVA. And he even was telling that to Sylvie that before he did admit, like, I really, I really am going to be lonely, like, without them. But he still
Yeah.
was, like, I loved that about Loki.
We're seeing that side of Loki that we knew existed. We're seeing that side of Loki that we knew was there. And we're seeing it come out more as he realizes that he lost everything. And the TVA is all that he has. And when he realizes that these people that he sees and the fact that Loki is afraid. We haven't seen Loki afraid. Now, he was afraid of Thanos when he got whacked, but not the level that he's afraid of Kang. When he met He Who Remains, something shook him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was just the gut feeling, I don't know what it was, because it wasn't like He Who Remains was terrifying. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was Kang the Conqueror and Ant-Man and Wasp. Like, his story was terrifying and it affected Loki. And now, after he met Victor Timely, yet another variant, who, by the way, was amazing and
I loved
was an
Victor.
awesome variant.
I hope he comes back. I don't know
Yeah,
when
he probably
Loki like
won't.
time slipped, but I'm like, hopefully. But yeah, I'm not holding my
I'm not
breath, and I'm
counting on it.
like, eh,
But I didn't expect Victor Timely to be in the season as long as he was, to be honest with you.
yeah,
That was amazing. Jonathan Majors has, and we'll get to that part later, has really, if you think about it, from He Who Remains to Victor Timely to the Conqueror, man, they're different. They're all different, even though they're the same. They are
yeah.
all vastly different, and he's played them very well. It brings me up to this. We got one more episode with Loki. Yeah, where do they go? We know what he's doing. Maybe, kinda. I don't even really know. He's going to try to save the TVA.
Yeah.
He's going to try to get his crew together. But are we going to see another variant? Are we going to see another variant of Kang? Are we going to see that no matter what he does, Kang is still the end result? I mean, ultimately, if you look at what's happening with Loki and you look at how we were watching those branches just completely disintegrate, completely turn to spaghetti and become nothing, is Loki going to realize that no matter what happens, most of those branches are going to disappear and there's going to be somebody waiting at the end? And it's just a matter of which variant we're going to face. Or are we going to see Loki get zapped to the sacred timeline, back to maybe Earth that he knew and that we know?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's gonna be very intriguing because I think based off of the idea of all those Kangs just waiting,
They're there
based
somewhere.
off of yeah, and the fact that they were basically waiting for the like as soon as they found out that well, as soon as they I just got excited just thinking of the idea of how crazy King the Conqueror was that he was like holding back the rest of the dynasty, and I just
Right.
remember from Quantumania they were like, "Oi, oi, he's
He's
dead.
gone. He's dead.
Okay, we
He's
can do it now."
right. And then that's also wild too, because they're like, okay, we're going to take over, but
Right?
that Council of Kings is like, okay, which one of them is going to be the big bad Kang? Because I don't see all of them coming into play. I see them being part of different timelines, but
Hmm.
which one is going to come and face, ultimately the Avengers and all that. But
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And here's my biggest problem, and part of that is the strike, and part of that is what's going on. But here's my fear, and this is where I think we've talked about this time and time again. This is where I think Marvel has really dropped the ball. When we saw He Who Remains back in Loki season 1, which was like what, June, somewhere around there. I don't even know. I can't remember the months. I really
Yeah.
can't. But
It's
it was
been
a
too
long time
long.
ago. It's been
Yeah.
too long. We saw He Who Remains. We didn't get anything. Nothing. Not a scrap, not a hint, not a story, nothing about Kang until February when Ant-Man 3 came out, and then we got Kang. Nothing. Now, I know some people are like, yeah, but look at what happened with Thanos. Well, not really, because Thanos was always this little piece of the puzzle, from a cutscene to what happened in Avengers 1 to Thor 2. Like, there was this big picture. We weren't getting that. We didn't get that in Multiverse of Madness like we should have.
Yeah.
I think they missed the ball there. I was happy that Wanda was the quote unquote villain, but I think they missed the ball. We didn't get anything until so when Loki ends, guys, we got nothing. Now we got the Marvels dropping on November 10th. Now everything that we're seeing based on previews, which I know we can't base it on trailers and teasers, sure doesn't seem like there's going to be any multiversal stuff. Yeah, there's character switching powers, maybe an incursion, I should say, happening. Maybe there's something in the post-credit scene. Maybe, but we're not. My gut feeling says there's no Kang involvement.
Yeah.
So then what?
It's
Because we got nothing coming out. Everything is at a standstill. And if you were relying on Deadpool 3, well, that just got pushed back.
Is it
So,
pushed back to still? Is it still before the King Dynasty in that, or is it after now?
well, I think it's still before. Because if Deadpool 3
Hopefully.
got pushed back, then the Kang Dynasty is pushed
Yeah.
back.
Because
So,
I don't know if it will be involved in the TVA, but I'm really really hoping. Well, depending on what the TVA will be like in Loki by
true,
this
at the end of
episode.
Loki.
Yeah, but I'm really hoping the TVA will be involved to some degree in Deadpool 3. Like I said, depending on how it is in Loki.
I imagine there's going to be some TVA in there. I imagine there's going to be, we are going to see that times, timelines, and that's going to come into fruition. But the point is, strike or not, I feel like Disney waited way too long and
Yeah.
wasted too much time with other stuff when they had this to focus on. And I think that's really been people's problems. Now, I don't want to go into
Yeah.
that just yet, and we'll talk about that. The what was it, Vanity Fair Variety article, allegedly, and all the rumors and things that we know. We'll get to that. But what do you think? What do you see happening at the end of Loki's season 2? Do you think that Loki? I personally think Loki will be involved in Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, maybe both. I don't think
Yeah.
his story's done, but I think it's close to being
Nah.
done.
Yeah, I'd imagine I'd imagine his story will conclude most likely by the end of this like next major story or this next
Yeah.
major saga. But
I just
wow, my
think that
brain I had a brain fart.
I just think that Loki has really lasted longer than I thought. Not the show, just the character.
Well, to be fair, he
I mean, he's died
oh,
like 12 times, but
you know the crazy thing? I'm not sure how legitimate this is. It was another random like post, some random Instagram thing said, but supposedly, oh, the light is horrible right there. I'm gonna sit back down. So supposedly back in like Thor: The Dark World, supposedly the testing audience had reacted badly to him being killed off in that, and they rewrote him not being killed, and yeah, so it was kind of weird. I'm wondering what the original, if this was correct. It's just interesting to think that if this is correct, like originally they had the thoughts of killing him off that early, but
Yeah, I mean that's interesting, and maybe they did. That would have been very early, I think,
yeah, imagine Loki
because
dying off, like, dude,
right,
that
we would
early.
have
That's
never got
crazy.
that moment with Thanos where he was trying to save Thor. We would have never got Ragnarok. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, unless they did some sort of variant thing. I think the biggest thing that needs to happen is at the end of Loki season 2, which we'll find out next week. Well, a mere few days from now, I guess, because it's Thursday. It comes on Thursday, right? Yeah. So
yeah,
less than a week from now, the thing that needs to happen, we need to see. It doesn't have to be a clear path, but there needs to be a path furthering the story of the Kang dynasty. And I'm even as willing to say as they need to even give us some sort of Kang something at the
yes,
end. If
yes, I
we get
agree.
no Kang anything, I think it's a missed opportunity again. I
Yeah,
mean, granted, they gave us some evil stuff, dude. This is pretty brutal. Like Miss Minutes is a menace, dude. Like she
yeah,
flat out crushed those people, and when she killed them, and you could hear the sound of them getting squished, I was like,
ooh,
bro, Miss Minutes is pure evil.
yeah. Now, correct me with this. When people get, I forget the term, when they get voided, do they still go to that area where everyone else, where the other Lokis are?
I don't
Like
think
Kid
so.
Loki and stuff?
No, I don't think so because didn't Loki get sent there? He didn't get like, and then because that would mean that every single person that died goes there.
Mm,
And maybe somebody out in the audience can refresh our memory from season 1. But I don't think that every single person that when they get, what's the proper term? But
yeah, I can't remember.
got that when they get whacked, I don't think that they all go to that void where every single Loki is. I don't.
Okay.
I don't think that's the case because then, dude, it would be filled with everybody, and we didn't really see anybody there but Loki variants.
Yeah, it was just them and then Mobius at that one point.
That's true.
So,
I mean, maybe
because I was like, because I wasn't sure if Renslayer was there or if she's actually dead, because I wasn't like, I had
that's
no
true too.
idea.
Yeah, I don't know if she's dead either. But isn't that whole void area destroyed now, gone?
That would kind of bum me out because I'm like, I
Because
would
I
hope
thought it
Kid
was.
Loki's.
I thought that was the whole point when Loki was trying to get back, and the other Loki was holding off that black creature, whatever thing. And I thought
Oh,
it was just ate up the whole world. I thought.
dang.
And I might have to go back and look. And there's a possibility. I've only watched Loki season 1 once.
Yeah.
There might be something I'm missing there. I'll have to read up on that.
Yeah, because I want to look into that too because it would be cool to see some of those other Lokis return, like Kid Loki and
Yeah, Gator Loki.
yeah, some of the Lokis that actually would, help out in this
But
type
then
of
I also was
situation.
like, didn't they get eaten up? Like some of those Lokis got eaten up by whatever that big black void was too.
Yeah.
And once that
So,
thing got you, which is why they were hiding underground and all
yeah.
that sort of thing. So I think the biggest thing is at the end of this, we need to see Loki's clear path. It doesn't need to have answers. Obviously, they're going to have questions, but they need to give us some Kang because I think if they don't, then this Kang story, which quite frankly should be very big as Infinity War, is going to start to feel pointless. And
Yeah.
and it's not that we need everything at once, but with the ups and downs of the MCU and there's the strike and then the delays and the cancellation, like I'm not saying they're at a DC level screwed because they're not, but you're kind of wasting one of the big bads.
Yeah, I
You,
mean, we've had Loki talk about Kang and the multiverse, the movie, and that's been, or excuse me, we have had Quantum Mania, and that's been it.
Quantumania have okay. In a couple months, Quantumania would have come out a year ago. Loki
Yeah,
season one was how many years ago? Two?
pretty much.
When we first saw Kang. I mean,
Uh,
and the thing is, there's been a lot of content in between that has had nothing to do with the main story, which is fine. I don't need every single MCU entity to be connected, but you got to give me something. So I think at the end, next week or on next Thursday, when we watch the final, the finale of season two, we got to get that. We got to get a little nugget of Kang and a little push into the right direction. But otherwise, I think that this has been some peak, amazing MCU content. I think if people are sleeping on it, if people are over here, trolling and just reading every article that's out there and listening to every content creator that's out there that has breaking news and following and reporting on every single rumor. And I got to say something. I'm not calling anybody out specifically about content creation, but we as content creators and fans of movies and comic books and all that, whether we like it or not, we got to stop reporting every single rumor, every single tweet from a reliable source that happens, and just stop it. Some of the content creators that I don't want to say I look up to, but that have been doing it a lot longer than me, that have a lot more following than I do, have sunk to this level of like, okay, guys, I just read this article. The MCU is in shambles for sure. And what was it? Vanity Fair? I keep saying Vanity Fair. It was Variety, right? It was Variety.
I
Why
feel
would
like
it
it
be?
was both,
Yeah, why
honestly.
would it be Vanity Fair? Anyway, but Variety has been known in the past to rehash things and to speculate. And some of
Yeah,
those things in the article have already been proven to be false by
yeah,
people that were involved. But instantly, we had 30, 40, 50, 60 content creators go on a rampage. MCU's in shambles. This is why. And you got to stop. Look, I don't like every single MCU thing that comes out. I don't. And they've made some choices that I'm questioning. But we're going to really get upset like, oh my God, Blade is having issues. Blade's been having issues since day one. That ain't new. We're going to talk about that
perfect.
the lead actor
Yeah,
wants to leave. We already know that. We already know that he might want to leave because he's tired of waiting. That's nothing new, you know. There's a lot of things that are going on. They're
and
talking about,
I mean,
oh,
we're all frustrated. Blade should have.
Blade should have been handled already. The fact that they can't do Blade, that's the issue. That's the issue.
Yeah,
They're talking about, oh, they're going to cancel this movie. Thunderbolts is canceled. It's not actually. It's not. It's coming out.
they better not
No,
cancel
they're
that
not.
movie.
That's a huge.
Jeez.
But all these delays and they're rethinking the way they're doing things. They should rethink the way they're doing things. That's how successful companies become successful and stay successful.
Yep.
Rethink it. They put out too much product too fast, too much content too fast. They rushed things. They gave us things we didn't want. Now it's time to pull it back. Otherwise, you're going to become DC. And even though they've had
Yep.
some
They evolve
bombs,
as they go.
yeah, even though they've had some bombs at the box office, they still made more money than DC films. So pull it back, slow down, everybody calm down. Everything's going to be okay. I mean, just look at this trailer for Echo. It has exceeded everybody's expectations. It is TVMA. It looks it looks awesome. Kingpin looks great. Daredevil's in it, at least for one episode. I mean, this reminds me of the glory days of the Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones Netflix shows. And if you're gonna do an Echo spotlight that people really weren't into, this is the way to do it.
Heck yeah. I think that's really cool too to see. And that's something I really appreciate with Marvel as well, is that even though they have their major focus, like the major saga, like the multiverse saga right now, they know that there's much more to Marvel, much more to their story
Yeah.
than the big stuff. They also have the street level stuff like Kingpin, Daredevil, even Spider-Man. He's technically a street level guy too when he's not out there with the Avengers and whatnot. And they show their appreciation for this stuff. I remember actually mistakenly reading the comments on Instagram, and one person was like, "Nobody wanted this," and I chuckled like, "Yeah, we did."
Right. That's the thing. Like, if we sit there and we think about Marvel and really any comic books, and you look at those characters, they're all living in the same universe. They all cross paths, but they
Mostly in New
don't.
York.
Yeah, but New York, yeah, but they don't have to. They don't have to. You can have the Avengers out there in space and Guardians in space and Loki doing his thing, and you can have Daredevil and Punisher fighting a wage war crime against Kingpin and some other members of the Sinister Six. You know what I mean? Like, and guess what? It's Marvel and it works.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you can also have Ghost Rider completely nowhere near it, fighting vampires with Blade, and it
Yep.
works. It's okay. Just give us a good story, give us good acting and characters, and you don't have to connect everything. We believe the MCU. If MCU is the galaxy, then everybody can be in different parts of the planet and different parts of the solar system, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yep.
That's why I don't think that when I read this article about like, well, they're even considering bringing the old Avengers back. I guarantee you that as they sat there at some point over the last 5 years, I'm sure every idea came to the table. And now there's rumors today, and I see the same content creators who used to sit there and not report just rumor, but now must just be so desperate that they're doing it. Oh, Robert Downey Jr. agreed to come back as Iron Man. Really? Where's your source?
You know, what I'm thinking about is kind of the idea. I think where they're, I think what they're kind of doing here is it might be, besides the whole desperation thing, is I think what they're doing is they're looking towards like the Secret Wars movie,
Sure, sure.
and they're thinking of the ideas of the variants and the possibilities of the possibility of like, oh, we might see RD, a variant of RDJ's Iron Man or Scarlet, almost a Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, it
Oh,
would
yeah,
be
yeah,
nice.
there's
Yeah,
that
she
too.
is Scarlet Witch, yeah.
Yeah, or Black Widow and et cetera, et cetera. And it's an interesting idea because I mean anything's possible, but I also thought of the idea of when I saw the idea of people talking about one of the other things people were claiming about them trying to the rumor of them saying they wanted to replace Jonathan Majors
Yeah.
or with Kang with Doctor
Doom.
Doom, and it's like, where is this coming from? Then I thought, oh, because in the comics, Doctor Doom is a major player in
Sure.
the Secret Wars story, so it's like, well, it makes sense for Doctor Doom to be involved in that story, especially because Fantastic Four is a movie happening before Secret Wars, but. I mean, we might see Judge, or I'm gonna say Judge Doom. Wow, that would be an interesting crossover. I mean, it would be really cool to see Doctor Doom involved,
I
but
I
to
think so
replace him as
too.
Kang, that would
No.
be wild. No,
I
don't do that.
and all these people are like, well, they're going to replace Jonathan Majors because of how poorly Ant-Man did at the box office. I'm like, that is the dumbest thing that I have ever heard.
Yeah.
Like,
Mostly I've been hearing is because of the accusations, but it's like
but that's
all of this has
but
been proven
aren't we
wrong.
beyond that? Like, I mean,
Right.
we're beyond that. Like, nobody's talking about it. He still has to go to trial, but so does his ex-girlfriend, who came out to lie, came out that video that she attacked him. So, if anything, they're gonna ride this out because they're not gonna sit there and rewrite their movies and rewrite their plans out of an accusation.
They know what happens when that happens. Bad scripts, bad crap happens, and
Abs-
movies blow.
exactly. And when they're like, well, they're going to replace him with Doctor Doom. Well, why would you even try to do that now when you've given us nothing on Doctor Doom? You're just you're going to you're going to bring in one of Marvel's biggest bads, most influential characters in so many different ways. You're going to bring them in that year and a half time span like that. When you had 2 years and you haven't done crap with Kang, but you're going to give us Doctor Doom. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It's like you have so many people pissed off right now. You're gonna piss off so many more people.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that I'm like against Doctor Doom. They need to do that right.
Yeah,
And it might feel weird to not have Doom in Secret Wars. It might, or it might feel weird, but maybe he is going to be there. Maybe
yeah,
he's not. Like, we don't know. But the other thing is, I'm okay with Marvel introducing new characters based off their story, especially a multiversal war.
hmm
But I'm also okay with them keeping it completely separate. Like, Fantastic Four doesn't have to get introduced to me through a major storyline. It would be
yeah,
cool, and that's fine, but you could also just introduce the Fantastic Four to me with their movie. It
yeah,
doesn't have to be connected. Like, DC tried to connect everything fast, and it failed, and they suck. And Marvel did a phenomenal job. They did something that nobody has really ever truly done, and they've continued to do something that way. But they also can't continue to rely on that. Sooner or later, we got to get these one-offs. We got to get these movies where these characters, like, we need Shang-Chi back. And even though his stuff, like, look, they talked about the bangles and the rings and his beacons calling out to somebody. We've heard nothing about that in like 3 years. So bring him back. Bring that back, like give us that.
It would be really cool to have the Fantastic Four connect with that, since there is a connection between them and the which which Kang variant is that? Oh, I think that is Victor Timely.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
there's any Kang thing could be connected to the Fantastic Four,
yeah, so
obviously.
they could have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, like so with they could adapt Secret Wars in any way they want. So they can introduce um, Doom in there, have him, introduced even, or they can introduce Doom to whatever degree, even in four, or introduce him in Secret Wars, whatever,
Yeah, he could
and
be
just
in
have fun
there.
with them. And then, yeah,
And
yeah, he
the
doesn't
thing
have to
with
be a big bad. He can just be involved.
that's what
Hmm?
I was gonna say. He doesn't have to be Doctor Doom. He could just be Doom pre anything. He could be normal Doom,
Yep.
good guy Doom, like he doesn't have to be Doctor Doom. And we got to stop building up these expectations based off comic books. Let's not forget the multiverse where every single person, Tom Cruise is coming out, like we got to stop that. You know,
Thank you.
we have to stop.
Oh, actually, oh, sorry. You can
No, no,
continue.
I was just saying
I
we
didn't
got
mean
to
to cut
stop
you
that.
off.
No, it's fine. I was literally that was my point.
So,
Like we've got to stop living up to these expectations or trying to live up to expectations that we create.
yeah, that's actually, I was actually going to go off of that too, because when you think about it with the comics have the time that the movies don't. I mean, the comics can go on and on and on because we consume them at a different rate, in a different form than what movies can do.
Sure,
And the production, the cost of them, with the comics, there's so much little cost in production that goes into them than what movies do.
absolutely.
And there's so much more that goes into a movie. And because of that, there's so much more that we can do, that people can do in comic form than they can do in movies. So because of that, of course, there's so much more. that we can do in book form that we can ever do for most of the time in movies, and people for some reason just can't seem to get through their heads. So when
No.
people, I had a conversation with my cousin the other day with Quantum Mania. We were just having a back and forth about a few things, and I had to say that to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah." I mean, we still had to agree to disagree because I agreed with him with a lot of points, and he agreed too. But we like it was one of those moments where it was like we had to have that. I had the stance where it's like we just had that moment where, wow, my brain just had a wow. Excuse
Dude,
me,
my boy is time slipping right now, guys. Okay,
yeah.
so I apologize. Nick Luck is
Wow.
time slipping. It
I
happens.
really am.
I've
I
known him
was
for a couple years now, so I'm used
wow.
to it. I
Yeah.
just wrote, but that's why if you're like me and you just never stop talking, I just keep going. So,
I had it. I had it, and then it just
All
boop. Okay, so I think I got it back. I think I got it back. Okay,
right.
so so because of that, we're able to establish more. So the movies have to sacrifice so much.
Sure.
They can only tell so much in that period of time. So that's why the MCU. That's why they call it an adaptation. There's like
Exactly.
so when people get upset that some characters, some stories are underutilized, yeah, it sucks, but we gotta appreciate what we're at least able to see. Enough
And
said.
and that's right. And the thing is, like, I don't know, man. Look, we've been doing this stuff on social media or podcasts, writing about it for a long time now. And the more and more that I dive in, and there are some amazing content creators out there, some amazing people that have a wealth of knowledge on the comic books that I don't have, and I'm okay to admit that. That's why I follow them. That's why
Yeah,
I learn. We're always learning, and all of this is our opinions and theories and ideas. So clearly, we don't know everything. But the more and more I see it, it's like and it really got to me this last time with some of these content creators, especially on this app, that have a massive following, that make money doing this to a degree, that I had some respect for as far as what they do and their opinions, even if I didn't agree with them. It really got to me that they sunk to the level of shock, meaning like, well, the MCU is a mess, guys. It's over. It was a fun ride. Can you believe this? And I'm
ugh,
like, and I'm talking, I mean, there's one in particular I won't call out. I'm never going to call out anybody by the names because that's stupid, and I'm too old for that. But one in
you know what's funny?
particular,
I'm sorry. I gotta say this real quick. I just imagine you coughing and then just saying the name.
dude, old Brandon, and like 5 years ago, Brandon, maybe 10 years ago for sure. 20 years ago, oh my God, I would have had a background with all their names. It'd have been like a whiteboard. I'd have been like, and here we have a hole number one, like that would have been me, dude. But I am refined and mature.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
But it
I
really
had to get
sucks,
that out.
man. It really sucks, and I've had to just not follow those people anymore. And you know what the thing is? It's okay if you don't like the MCU. Like that's cool. Like, dude, Nick and I don't agree on a lot of stuff with the MCU. He likes some things, and I'm like, bro, come on.
Yeah, it's just how it is.
Speaking of that, the next big MCU movie comes out next Friday, November 10th. The Marvels. Are you planning on seeing that in the theater?
Yeah, I'm curious because I'm like, what has Nick Fury been doing this whole time?
Well, he had Secret Invasion, bro. He dealt with a lot of crap. Okay.
Yeah, true, true.
But wait, my thing is, where does this fit on the timeline?
Oh yeah,
Is it after Secret Invasion?
that's a good question. I'm
I need to
actually
find out.
yeah.
By the way, Secret Invasion was a good show that I
Yes.
felt like we forgot about like this, and I enjoyed it. I don't
Yeah, it
know.
came and went. That's another thing I wanted to mention too. Like so many people were ripping apart because everyone was like, "Where are all the other superheroes?" But then Nick Fury said it better himself. Some things you just got to do yourself, and
Yeah,
that was the Nick Fury show.
that was a Nick Fury show until he got a superhero scrawl that helped him out. But still,
Yeah, that it
you
was
know,
it was his show until that moment.
till that moment. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't know. I enjoyed the
Yeah.
show. But I don't know where I need to find out where the Marvel's timeline. I mean, it happens right around Miss Marvel because we saw that at the end of Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
But where's her timeline? Like, is that before Secret Invasion? After Secret Invasion? Like during Secret Invasion? Like, because it looks like Nick Fury was in space.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I am actually going to go see it though. I didn't think that I was going to go see it, but I am going. Hey, what's up, my man? I see him. There's a little Pancho Villa over there, my dog. What up? No spoilers for Loki season 2. You missed it. We're talking Marvels right now. But I got my tickets.
When's it come out again?
The 10th Friday, but I'm seeing it Thursday. So
Oh, nice. Okay.
yeah. So I don't work the next day, and I don't have my son Thursday. So he'll be in, but I'll pick him up from school Friday. So I'm going to go see it Thursday night. I work Thursday night. I'm going to get out of work. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to treat myself. Why not? I don't know if I'm excited for it, to be honest with you, because I'm not a big Captain Marvel fan. I never
Gotcha.
have been, and it has nothing to do with Brie. She is what she is.
Yeah.
But this one looks better than the last one, and I enjoyed Miss Marvel. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Look, people can bash that show all they want. That show was not geared towards you and I. It just wasn't. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
we can't appreciate it. It doesn't mean we can't enjoy it. It doesn't mean we can't, pull from it. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I thought they did a very good job. I loved watching her be so excited to be in it. Like that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I love that they made her a mutant and that word
Yep.
came out. That was
Finally.
cool. That was cool.
And they
So
did the X-Men jingle.
yeah, so I'm hoping, and I know everybody's reading into the Marvels, a door closes and there's an X, and people are like, there's going to be an X-Men in the Marvels. I'm like, there'd only be one, and that would be Rogue, and we're not going to get her, you know.
Uh,
I just don't buy it. But
yeah.
they could talk about the mutants some more because of Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I know it's on track. Pacing for pre-sales based on everything is falling behind Black Adam and The Flash. That's not good. But
Yeah.
people don't do that anymore. People don't. They don't view movies like that anymore. And I'm not saying that that's the reason that Miss Marvel's or the Marvels isn't going to do well. They just don't. They don't do it like they did it for Barbie. That was something unique. That was different.
That was
They
crazy.
did it for Oppenheimer too, and that was unique and different. They did it for Mario
Barbenheimer.
Brothers. Again, unique and different. Guardians was the end of an era, so that was different. But if you look at The Flash, if you look at Black Adam, and you look at those other movies that were supposed to be big, and look at Aquaman 2, which got pushed 2 days early, I don't know. Who cares? Just get this crappy movie out of here. Those
Yeah.
movies are not doing well. They're not paid. People don't go to the movies and pre-buy tickets like they used to. So I don't believe any of that. But I don't think that the Marvels is going to do well, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's upsetting too because it's rare for me to say that too. Or it's yeah, excuse me. It's rare for me to say this about a DC movie that I don't even want to see it in theaters. I don't even want
Aquaman
to see
2?
Aquaman 2.
No, nobody
I don't even want to
does.
see it even. Like I wanted to at least see it still,
I
But
don't even
now
want
I
to
don't
see
even
it.
want to see it anymore in
Dude,
theaters.
Jason Momoa is so happy the strike is going on, so he doesn't have to do press for this crappy movie.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be real, bro. Like,
yeah,
nobody wants to see this movie. It's a dumpster fire.
yeah.
Will
But
it, the question is, will it make less than The Flash?
probably.
Probably, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes out around Christmas time when everybody's looking to do something, and Christmas time's big for movie theaters, and it's gonna
Yeah,
tank. But I am seeing the Marvels. I will have my
yeah,
review. I'll do a non-spoiler review, obviously.
yeah.
But
I want to do that too. I want to make sure I give all the support I can for the Marvels because, yeah, I just want to make sure it gets its support because, yeah, Marvel, it needs
it's
the
true.
support.
It's the perfect storm for this movie to bomb.
Yeah, I feel bad because especially if it's good, you know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think it'll be better than the other Marvel, Captain Marvel. Look, Captain Marvel just wasn't that great of a movie.
Yeah, I liked. Oh yeah. To say to go on with what you said too. I did like the Miss Marvel show. And I'm with you as well that yeah, I agree it wasn't made for us. Whenever there's like a teenage show, my eyes glaze over.
I
But
get
I
that.
did
We've
like
talked
the
about that.
yeah, but I did like the lore. I liked the acting, her character,
Same.
the actor herself, great.
100%.
The change of powers, it didn't bug me like everyone else. Like I trusted that it was done for a specific reason.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And I always liked the character herself because you know she's a super fan who became a superhero herself. Like that alone is awesome.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you there. I like that. I like the little hidden gems that they had in there. Like, I don't know, man. I think Marvel has done a lot of good, even in their bad. Like, look at She-Hulk. Let's talk about a show that was highly criticized, highly fought over, and I understand why. But look at the cool in that show.
yeah, I still like that show. I thought it was still fun.
Abomination was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad they put him in there.
Daredevil having a one night stand was epic.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not a big fan of the yellow suit, but it was fun to see.
yeah, it was
You
cool.
know, Daredevil was awesome. He didn't miss a beat. He was great.
The
There were
fight
other
scene between
moments.
those two was great
Was
too.
great.
Oh
I
yeah,
liked seeing Bruce. And the Hulk. I enjoyed that.
Scar's hair was weird.
I think Scar sucked. I think it was awful. And quite frankly, they should have never even showed that. They should have just mentioned Scar because he looked like my son drew him.
Yeah, I think he deserves a redesign. Hopefully, the next time we
Oh,
see
he's
him, he's
got to
just
get a
redesigned in
redesign, bro.
general.
Yeah, if we even
Yeah,
see it again.
I think we'll see him again. I think we'll. That would be horrible if we have never seen him again. That'd be such an underutilized or waste of
Well, I'm going to
potential
go
thing.
all the way back to the internals, buddy. We're just going to forget. I'm not even talking about
Yeah,
the internal. I think they're going to address that, and they have addressed that. They addressed it in She-Hulk, and they addressed it in another show. But I'm talking about,
yeah.
are we all just going to forget that the Eternals exist? Like, bro, Thanos' brother
That is
showed
so
up.
weird too. Yeah,
Like, Thanos' brother showed up. I was like, hey, I'm going to help you guys. What? And I was into
yeah.
it. I was like,
That's
bro, it's Harry Styles. Let's go. I'm in. Sign me up. I'm a stylist. Let's go. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm a
yeah.
Harry Styles fan. Let's go.
And that's yeah, that's the part we're getting into. That's one of Marvel's weaknesses right at the moment is they're putting out so much that by the time they get to a lot of these story arcs, it's like if they get along around to some of these story arcs, it's like, oh, you did that?
Right?
We forgot you even had that story arc out there established. Like we were on this thing over here. Meanwhile, you did this like what 4 or 5 years ago? Okay.
That's the thing. Like, they're getting to that point where, like, guys, you either got to address it or really move so far away from it that we don't even care anymore. But I don't know. So, wrapping up, Final thoughts on Loki. Let's dive in. What do you expect? What do you want to see in the next episode? Final episode.
Yeah. I definitely want to see something Kang related, some kind of. I definitely want to see a variant, at least some kind of variant appear, or at least like something like in the distance, like they see, like maybe in the loom, like they see, I don't know, something open, a portal open, a wormhole open, and they just see like the HQ of the Loki, the Lokis, the Kangs.
The Killer Kings.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, no,
What
no, no, no,
if?
no.
What if, as they're looking in there, they see Kang the Conqueror get warped through from the quantum realm, since he got sucked in, and he now comes into the loom.
See, that is what I would love to see because I'm holding on. I'm holding on that the Conqueror isn't dead
Same.
because that's his tech. But at the same time, I know he's in there at a disadvantage because his suit got jacked up from those ants. So it's like,
Bro, okay, you guys heard it here first. If that happens, I called it. I called it. I'm gonna download this and I'm gonna replay it and be like, I called it. If it happens,
I'm hoping
and
him and Timely are alive. I'm hoping at least one of them. If one of them are still
Timely
alive,
called,
I'm hoping.
bro. Timely is Mr. Fantastic right now, dude. He is spaghetti sauce. My man went in there like, I got this. Just kidding. He looked like, dude, my son's got a Play-Doh machine. It looks like he just stuck Play-Doh in there and grinded him up. Just, brrr.
I will never forgive Feige for that. He was literally like, "Oh, fan service. You guys want fan service?
That was a dick move.
There you
Yeah.
go."
That was a
He
dick
was
move.
like, "F y'all. Stop,
It was
stop
rough.
fan casting him."
So rough, man. You know, when I went and watched Multiverse of Madness again, I got just as excited when he showed up, and then I was like, and he's dead. By the way, what is your thoughts on the book that came out that basically was talking about Multiverse of Madness, that basically said Wanda's dead?
That bummed me out.
I'm
I
hurting,
was really
man.
bummed. Yeah,
They ain't gonna beat Kang now, dude. Yeah, you done.
whew. Yeah, because I mean that's a major powerhouse. Because I mean she was back to herself, basically,
My
and
my hopes of seeing her in the X-Men, my hopes of her and Magneto just went down the drain, man.
well, potentially since we're seeing Wolverine and stuff in Deadpool, there's still potential to see some variants of like
True.
them together.
I know
And
that she's basically said she loves Wanda, but she wants to be done with her. So
I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm sure she's got at least one more in her. I'm sure we
I
can
think
get at
she's
least
got
one
one more
more.
in her too. At least a special or an appearance, you know.
Yeah, at least at this point, we can get like at least one more saga thing,
Yeah.
for the last thing. Oh, by the way, did you see the behind the scenes that they were gonna do for her in Multiverse of Madness, where she had like this corrupted
It
face?
looks so awesome.
Dude, I was like,
I was on board with that, dude.
at least like
Her whole
going
face was like,
between.
yes.
Yeah, at least like going between the two, I would have been like, yes, do this.
Yeah. There was a couple things that they had in Multiverse of Madness that they didn't go with that I was like,
Yeah, I
you
forgot
dropped
about
the
that.
ball, dude. Yeah. And I like that movie a lot, you know, despite a couple of the weird things. But okay, I think we're on the same page with what we want to see happen with Loki. I think I totally agree with you with that. What do you think moving forward with the MCU? We know their plans. Plans change.
Yeah.
What do you think they need to focus on to get back to that great storytelling and character building that they've done?
I would like to see. Man, that's so. I want to see a bit more of those connections, which unfortunately would probably mean a bit less branching out. But so I guess what this would mean is, I guess, fewer one shots. But
That's
what they
okay.
could do is, So kind of like what we saw with She-Hulk, where they got Daredevil in there, they could do that and like have Moon Knight appearing in like a so they do Moon Knight. Next time we see him, he's in the Blade movie. So they
Right,
could
right.
do more things like that where we see these characters more often, so they don't have to do more. So they don't have to do like more seasons or things like that. But carry on these characters' stories more often and actually work on connecting and finishing these arcs instead of like having all these big gaps, even if that means connecting more of the stories in other movies, but trying to make sure they work around those more instead of having things more spread out, if that makes sense.
I could, yeah. For me, I want them to look at their movies as movies and telling a good story and building a good character. And if you decide to keep those characters,
Mm-hmm.
like if you're deciding to keep Blade for one or two more movies or three more appearances or four more appearances, whatever, then you could still have a Blade story within Blade. He doesn't have to go join so and so and join so and so. You could still have him be in the Blade MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And then if something comes up and all of a sudden Ghost Rider's there and Moon Knight's there, then they got an issue. Then
Yeah.
let's, you know, I'm really looking at characters like Moon Knight, Blade, Punisher, Spider Man, those guys that we really, I mean, Spider Man's been great and I've enjoyed it, but Daredevil, we got more, bring back Luke Cage, let's get it.
Yeah.
And you know what? You introduced us to a really cool story and a really cool character with Shang-Chi. What are we doing, guys? Let's bring him back,
He is overdue.
he's way overdue. I think the Eternal stuff is super interesting. Despite the divided feelings on that movie, it was a unique film, something vastly different than the MCU has ever done. Way better than I thought it was going to be. I'm interested in some more of that. The big start of it all. I would love to see Thor have a final movie where he's Thor. You know, um, I know he's got his Love and Thunder, and that's been a thing, and you can address that. But give me an older Thor, bearded, ready to just Conan the Barbarian type character, and give me Thor. Away from the Avengers, away from Loki. Give me and let's let him end his arc because I know Hemsworth is really taking a backseat to acting lately and spending time with his family. He's been open about that, but let's end it. Let's give us some of those other characters. If you want to continue with Black Panther and Wakanda, then let's go that route. If Marvel has a slew, we haven't got to the X-Men yet. We haven't got to Fantastic Four yet. We haven't got to any of those yet. And so there's another 10 years, 15 years of movies and shows. And if you're going to do these shows, then look at the ones that have been successful.
Yep.
I mean, look at how great Werewolf by Night was. And I know I'm a mark for that because I'm a horror guy. But the positive reviews and the way that they did that, what does that tell you? We want
Exactly.
unique stuff. Give us more. I don't need a White Vision one shot. I know that he's out there and I know the story's there and we're like, okay, where is he? But I don't really need a story about that.
Oh, where is this dude?
I just don't even care. I don't even care. you know?
I'm so mad. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I kind of, I'm starting to not care anymore about Vision. I'm
No, I
like,
don't
he's
care.
taking so long.
Like he's gone. He's like flew into the sun or something. Like,
Uh,
what I do care about is Kate Bishop. Where's she? I care about watching her, not just because I like to watch her, but because she was
yeah.
awesome. She got into that role so good. So give us some Kate Bishop. Let's go. What are we doing here, guys?
Mm-hmm.
So, I I'm looking forward to see. I'm really hoping there's a piece of me that hopes that the Marvels not only is a good movie, but but that they give us a nugget of something that we're not expecting. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, those end credits scenes they definitely can be promising if they don't have anything in the actual movie itself
True.
leading towards that.
True.
But I think with the way that Nick Fury and Sword is, the way that the Cosmos with with the Bengals, with its
Yeah.
connection to that stuff.
And the
I
Bengals are
think of
connected to Shang-Chi. The Bengals are
yeah,
connected to Miss Marvel.
so I think the way that connection is, I think there definitely may lead to something at some point to
I hope
Kang.
so. I hope so.
So yeah, I think it's going to be very intriguing. I'm
Yeah.
now that you mention it like that, I think I'm now more excited to watch this movie.
I mean, I am like, it's good timing for me because I didn't plan on going to see it, but I am now. So,
Ooh, right after the
but
finale of Loki too. Hopefully that was hopefully that timing was.
dude, right? Boom, boom.
Imagine if it was. Oh
Thursday,
man,
Thursday.
hopefully, yeah.
Oh, dang, dude. How am I going to pull that off?
Uh
I got to watch Loki and see the Marvels.
oh.
All right, here we go here. Nick, not so notorious. I wasn't going to see it either, but I convinced myself that earlier this week I'm going to watch it. Yeah, Nick, man, I agree with you. Nick, not so notorious. I agree with you, dude. Up until about a week ago, I convinced myself that I was just going to wait. And if the opportunity arose, I'd see it, or I'd see it on Disney Plus when it dropped. But the opportunity arose by me not working the next day, me not having any parent responsibilities that night. I was like, okay, I'm going to go see it. So I really hope that there's no spoiler for Loki season 2 in the Marvels. I don't think there's going to be. There might be some fun connection that maybe, but I think you got to think there's going to be people that are going to watch the Marvels that haven't seen Loki season 2 yet and vice versa. So
Yeah,
I
that'd be
don't
messed
think
up if they
so.
did that.
God, I'd be pissed. But I mean, let's not forget. Remember when Hawkeye ended?
Oh yeah.
Hawkeye ended, and then No Way Home came out, or yeah, No Way Home came out. So people were all like, "Oh God," But I don't know how, dude. I might be going to see the Marvels and then coming home and watching Loki season 2, the finale, because they drop it. They don't drop it in the morning anymore. It's not like it comes out at 3 a.m. It's like 6 p.m., dude.
I was mad about that because I
Me
remember
too, bro.
first I forgot that it came out on Thursdays. I was waiting Wednesday, like refreshing Disney, like, wait, where is it?
Dude, they
Then
pulled that crap with Ahsoka too. I was like, all right, it's
yeah,
Tuesday. And then I'm like, I got up at 5 a.m. to watch Ahsoka before my son got up, and it's not on till 9. Sons of bitches. What do you
right.
think? Speaking of Echo, though, going back to that, what do you think? And you messaged me about them dropping all the episodes at once on Echo.
Oh yeah. I think that's refreshing. I think it's good
I think
that
it makes sense for the series.
yeah, I think that's good too because it's a great way to change up the pace, especially since it's something different than what they usually put out. It's their first
It's a one shot. It's a Marvel
yeah,
Spotlight. That's what they're calling these now, Marvel Spotlights.
exactly.
So I agree with you actually, because I'm a big fan of the week to week. The Loki week to week has been building up. I'm like, ooh, next week. And with Ahsoka too, which by the way, I'm still madly in love with that show.
Yeah, buddy.
But peak Star Wars. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you, Filoni. But I think with Echo, with it being a one shot and with it being a different series, and with this is no slight at her or anything, she's not on that level of superhero or character. 85% of the people probably didn't even know who she was before,
I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? I was always a fan of her. I was like, ooh, Echo's coming. That's because I'm weird. But I think it's good. I don't want to see them do that with every show, though.
Right. It's
But
good that they're digging into the uncommon.
I do, yeah. And
The
it's TVMA, dude. It's
yeah.
violent. You've seen the trailer, right?
Yeah,
Bro, it's
yeah.
violent, dude. It is a violent
Ooh.
trailer. Kingpin, by the way, oh my God, he looks great.
Yeah.
That dude is huge.
Oh yeah. I know Feige was like, all right, we heard you guys. We know. Here's your MA.
Right?
Finally, here you go. Shut up.
Because the only other TVMA they did, the only other one that they did on Disney Plus was Werewolf by Night was TVMA.
Right.
But makes me feel good, man. I mean, there are certain things that should be MA, and it's not that we need
Yeah.
to see gore, but Daredevil, Street Level, Punisher, like Blade, like anything dealing with vampires and the occult should probably be MA, dude.
Yeah, it has to fit the MO,
Yes,
appropriately with what's going on with it. I
absolutely.
totally agree with that.
Well, guys, hey, I got to wrap it up because I have to get up at 5:30 tomorrow. So
Oh, whew.
it's 10:15 my time here in Texas. So I'm gonna try to call it a night, and I just haven't been feeling good lately, as you can tell. I look like dog crap. So and my voice is gone. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. It's been a long time since we've been on live. Make sure that you continue to follow for content and engage. I love the engagement. I love hearing from people. I love hearing what you guys have to say about the MCU and all that. I also want to thank my friend Nick. Used to be my co-host, but he has been my friend for some time now. Nick Luck. I love what he does. We don't get to do this stuff a lot lately. It's just been hectic, but we are getting back into the swing of things, and we are
Oh
going to
yeah.
make it happen. Make sure you follow him on all platforms, but definitely right here on TikTok, so you can check out what he's doing. You can listen to his podcast, find all his social media, read his books, check out his artwork. He's been slaying it at these art shows lately.
Thank
I
you.
would show you my stickers, but they're all on my DVD holder right now. So I have
Nice.
this giant DVD cabinet since I'm a physical media collector, restarted that again. And on the side of it are all my favorite stickers. So Nick Lux, they're not just stickers for his podcast, guys. These are pieces and designs that he came up with. Very cool stuff. I can go on and on. But make sure you follow
Ooh,
him.
I
And
should make some
what
for the podcast.
you should, bro. I mean, I'm just saying. Your boy did it a long time ago and still does it. But anyway, check out Nick Lux, everything. Nick, before we go, what do you got? What do you got in the works right now? What do you want to plug right now? What's cooking?
I restarted the book narration for the series because that was
Yes,
something that people
yes.
were requesting.
Good job.
So thank you. I started episode one last week. I'm going to be doing episode two this week alongside it's going to be a double upload. Yeah. Going to be a
Really?
double upload this week. One's going to be the narration of the next part. The other episode is going to be a re-upload of an older episode of my older podcast, which was a Kingdom Hearts episode, just another episode of the retrospective. And then gonna be doing some uploads of some more artwork, some more features for my book, my next book coming out, hopefully in the next 6 months, Quantum Cab. I'm about 100 pages in, probably like another I think it's probably gonna be like maybe 200 pages. But yeah, that's so far what I got going on.
So, guys, you can find all that stuff under his profile, his link tree, and find out where you can purchase his book, read his book, listen to his book, all that fun stuff. And again, the artwork. I can't stress that enough. Um, really cool stuff, really unique, fun stuff, different things that you don't see every day. And of course, our social media conversations about all kinds of crap. So, my podcast, the Life of an Average Joe podcast, drops every Wednesday. I just ended season 14. Yeah, I know it's crazy. It probably should have been a lot more seasons, but I used to run long seasons. But now I got it kind of after 3.5 years. I got it under the bag. It's crazy that it was like 3.5 years, and
Yeah.
I said 14 seasons. That should tell you how long the seasons were. But yeah, it's like Days of Our Lives over there. But I just dropped a new episode this week. It was just an email episode, basically reading comments, emails. It was really fun. Got some cool feedback, got some not so cool feedback, and I love that. But season 15 kicks off next Wednesday. I've got an episode I think is really important out there. It's not just about MCU and all that. This episode's about really geared towards men, but definitely I think everybody can listen to it, but it's definitely geared towards men. But the fun stuff I got coming up, I've got a great roundtable discussion with two other guys, and we're going to talk Star Wars. Two of my buddies, yeah, we're going to talk Ahsoka. We're going to talk the upcoming alleged Star Wars projects. We're going to talk about our favorite Star Wars moments, as well as our least favorite Star Wars moments. It's a really fun roundtable discussion that I recorded with just, two of my buddies that we've never done a podcast together before, but we've sat there and we've talked a lot. And I was like, look, guys, let's get this on. I want you guys on the show. Let's talk Star Wars. So that's what we're going to do. We got that episode coming up. We got some other things coming up there. And you can check that out anywhere you find your favorite podcast. But just follow on TikTok. I just got done doing a lot of content for Halloween, like my favorite holiday. I watched last month, 47 Halloween movies.
Yo.
47, but now I need to put that in perspective. On this last podcast, I went down the list and listed all of them. If you follow me on TikTok, every day I did a Halloween movie review. And I didn't even get all of the ones that I watched. Just I did one a day. But these weren't just movies. I also watched The Fall of the House of Usher, which is like 8 episodes. I watched a documentary series that was like 9 episodes. I've watched so much horror, unreal. So if you've been following me on TikTok and now all of a sudden you're not seeing the horror stuff anymore and you're seeing some more normal stuff, it's because I'm done till next year. So, but that's what we do. And next time we'll be back on Nick Luck's profile, live channel, whatever the hell it is, talking about some other stuff. But yeah, it's been fun. It was good. It was good to talk about the MCU. And I just got to tell everybody to pull it back a notch. That's all. Just chill out, guys. Everything's okay. Just pump the brakes. Good God.
Yeah, there's some positive stuff, and it's okay to do some criticism here and there, but good Lord.
I know. Y'all are just letting me down, man. I love how everybody's got these sources. Well, my source, really? The guy who paid for verification on Twitter is your source? Anyway. All right, man. Nick, as always, it's awesome. Let's do it again.
Yes.
Maybe we'll have something to talk about after Loki. Maybe we'll have something to talk about after the Marvels.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I think we'll have a lot for sure. Thank you for having me on, and hope you feel better soon.
I'll get there, man. All right, guys. Until next time. Later.
Later.